Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Preschool AllStars podcast. I'm Bethany Johnson, and I'm joined today by Taylor Willem. How are you doing today, Taylor?
I'm doing great. And how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much for coming to speak to us.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're very excited to find out what's going on in your life and in your business. Can you give us a little backstory about what was going on before you decided to take on this preschool journey?
Yeah. Well, so I'm one of those people where I wanted to be a teacher my entire life. First grade, what do you
Mhm.
want to be? A teacher. Second grade, a
Okay.
teacher, all the way up. And then I had my children, and it was, well, are you going to teach? You're going to be with your kids. And of course, I couldn't leave them, no matter
Mhm.
how crazy they drive me. And I figured I would just put the rest on the back burner and just let it happen whenever it did. About 2 years in, maybe 3 years, I found VIP Kid, which is
Okay.
where I kind of started like this whole journey. And it was amazing because it kind of broke down everything I thought that online learning and teaching could be.
Mhm.
And I realized I can still connect and teach and interact and fall in love with these beautiful little beings on the other side of a computer. And I just knew, like, from there, I feel like it all just unfolded. And so about 3-ish years later, I then found OutSchool,
Mm.
which at first I was kind of, this is something I want to do. But anyone who can tell you teaching VIP Kid, which is you're teaching in China
Mhm.
online. And I'm
Yeah.
sure you know, I would wake up at 11:40 and
Yeah.
then teach until 6 or 7 a.m. And then my kids would wake up.
Oh my
And
god.
I ran myself ragged. I look back and I'm like,
Yeah.
how did you do that? What were you doing?
How many kids do you
And
have?
I have 2 kids.
2 kids. Okay, okay.
And they're
That
about
is
12.
crazy.
Yeah, and they're 12 months apart because I've always wanted kids close in age, but I used to have this also idea, well, we'll have them back to back. One will go to school, the other one will go to school. I won't have to wait 2 years in between to go back to teaching. Like,
Uh-huh.
you will go
Yeah.
to school, I'll go to school. And so I just figured we would do that. And so it's crazy because if someone would have told me that I would have been so far the opposite direction, I would never have believed them.
Mhm.
So then I found OutSchool and I was like, I kept hearing people say, work smarter, not harder. And I was like, well, I don't understand. But instead of teaching one student at a time, it's like I could teach 10 students in that
Yeah.
same slot and just have more time for myself. But I was so intimidated. I went on there and there was hundreds of preschools and courses. And there's all these beautiful ones with the students and the ratings and the reviews. Then the ones over here who have no students, no ratings, no reviews. And I was like,
Mhm.
what if that's going to be me? And,
Right.
don't do this. But I did what you're supposed to do. I pushed past the fear
Good.
and I just did it anyways. And at first, it was slow. I was like, is this worth it? Is this worth your time? Is this worth your energy? Are you doing a good job? Like all the doubt, all the things.
Mhm.
But I loved it because it was kind of like having my own preschool under their umbrella. I
Yeah.
wrote the course, I wrote my curriculum. I, for the first time, didn't have someone else telling me how to teach, what to teach, where to teach. It was like mine, mine, mine. And so
Mhm.
I kept going. And how can I make it more interactive? How can I make it more engaging? What should I tweak? What should I do? And that those 10 students turned into 20, turned into 30. And by 3 months, I had 120 students in
Wow.
10 different classes.
Wow, that's
So
amazing.
it was so crazy. I was like, how did you get here?
Well, I mean, I
Because
can just tell your energy is like off the wall. So I can only imagine when you're teaching. So
well,
wait,
I've
was
had
that
some
before
coffee.
pandemic? Was that before pandemic that you did that? Or during?
No, it was mid-pandemic, so I
Okay.
don't even, and that is the other reason I almost didn't do it because all the teachers I knew had started in March and
Mhm.
April, and I was like, they already got all the students. I didn't start until October. I
Mm.
almost did in August and I almost did in September, and I just kept pushing it off.
Mhm.
And someone was finally like, you have to do this. You're meant to do this. And I was like, oh, I'm just gonna do this. And I'm so
Sounds like
grateful
it was
because
quickly successful.
I went from teaching 6, 7 hours a day, well, which was again amazing. My kids were sleeping. I got to have the best of both worlds. But you can't do that forever.
No.
Every year I'm getting older and I was falling apart.
Yeah, I don't know how you did it that long.
I don't know. Lots of coffee.
Yeah.
Um, and so from there, I was doing the 7 hours and I went from teaching 2.5 hours a day because I did 5 classes, Monday and Wednesday mirrored, Tuesday and Thursday. And
Mhm.
so it was like, how did I even get here? And you would think that that would be enough and I would be satisfied and I would be content, but no,
Like, what
I
lady
wanted
boss?
I wanted more. And I don't even know if I swear I didn't say it to anyone else, maybe my mom, but I know these phones are listening to us
Oh, yeah.
because 2 days later, I
It popped
see this
up.
ad and who's there but Joy.
Oh, I love
And
it.
it's like, a book that's about starting your own preschool? Well, let's give this a try. And it was a lifesaver because I couldn't even have gotten this far without it. I had all these ideas and all these things I knew I had to do,
Mhm.
but there is so much more.
Yeah, there's a lot to go with it.
A lot.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I am in the process of transitioning right now from my summer course into my course that will start the first week of August. So
Okay.
I'm so grateful because honestly, without even Joy, and I feel like everything just kind of fell together. So I'm so lucky and blessed because I would probably not be starting this for at least another year or two. I
Mm.
mean, I feel like I got to cut in front of the line pass,
Yeah, yeah.
don't do this, don't do this, do this. And
Right.
I still messed up.
I mean, we're all learning. You're learning. That's the whole process. You're
Yeah.
starting a business. There's lots of things that you'll look back on and be like, I can't believe I did it that way. And then all of it will get you to where you're going.
Yes.
So I know Outschool is like crazy. There's so many funny classes that I see just on like the ads for them.
My
And I
kids
know it's
took a
gotten
class on
super
farts.
popular. Yes, that's one of the ones I saw on Facebook. That was like one of the Outschool ads was a class on farts, and I just thought
Yes,
it was hysterical. So do you get to set your own prices on Outschool?
you do. And
Okay.
that's amazing. You set, like, you go and apply and you write the course that you want to teach. And so
Mhm.
I was going to do phonics.
Mhm.
Again, because I was being a chicken. I was being a chicken about doing a preschool.
Mhm.
And I was just like, for VIP Kid, all the students that I did that I fell in love with were all preschool. I taught it for 3.5 years. Like, why are you not doing it? So I originally wrote this entire beautiful course on phonics,
Okay.
videotape myself, the whole deal. I get hired and I go to do my actual course. And I was like, nope, do what you want to do. So you write the name of your preschool course and what it's going to entail, what you're going to do, how you're going to learn, what days, how many days, how long, and how much you want to make. It's everything.
Mm.
So it was a beautiful stepping stone to,
Yeah.
I feel like if I would have found joy first, I would have done so many things differently. But I feel like it really worked out in my case.
Yeah.
So it was
Totally.
lucky.
Absolutely. So how much did you charge for your classes on Outschool?
$15 a week,
Okay. And then you had like 100 and how many students?
120.
Nice.
And I was teaching 10 hours. No, that's not even true. 5 hours. I was teaching 5 hours a week in 10 classes.
Wow.
So
That's
it
so
was
nice.
the most money I ever made. And I
Yeah.
was working the least amount I had ever
Yeah.
worked.
Oh man,
It
that
was
is so awesome. And you could teach whatever you wanted. So did you teach
whatever.
the same classes, just you had two different time slots?
Yes. So that was something I did in the beginning. I started with opening just 3 slots. So, like, here's my course. I offer these 3 times. And then I decided to add another course. And I started back at the beginning. So, and these 3 were here and I was teaching differently. And then a month in, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, no. So I learned to adapt my curriculum to where if a student hops in or hops out, it's okay. They're not going to be lost. They're not going to be confused.
Right.
And that's been a lifesaver because I created the one lesson for Monday and Tuesday, the one lesson for Wednesday and Thursday,
Yes.
and two 30-minute lessons to
So
10
nice.
classes.
And do
Yeah.
they sign up like for a month or is it like class by class
So
that they
you
sign up?
choose that too. You
Okay.
can do like the fart class, a one-time class. My
Okay.
kids have taken a fart class. They took a class on crocodiles, and this lady
Okay.
had crocodiles. She
Wow.
showed them crocodiles, was holding them in her hands.
Wow.
So you could do a one-time class, which those people, I was like, I should do this. They're genius.
Yeah.
They're creating one class and they're teaching it over
Over
and
and
over.
over. Oh, wow.
I at one point did the math, and I'm pretty sure that the fart lady made like $50,000.
Oh my
Like, I
gosh.
was like, because I saw how many times she taught the class, and I
Yeah.
multiplied it by what I paid, and I was like,
Wow.
how did you make this much money talking about farts? Like, mind blown. And
Man.
then
Amazing.
my class is an ongoing subscription.
Okay.
So every Sunday they get charged $15.
Okay.
And they can pull out at any time and stay in any time and however it goes. And then there's I don't know what it's called, but you create the course. So you could say, I'm teaching this preschool course. It's 8 weeks long. It's $150.
Mm.
Come
Okay.
on.
Yeah.
So there's those options. So there it was, again, it's endless possibilities. It's really a good stepping stone.
Okay. Two more questions. Oh wait, I forgot my first question. Okay, we'll go back to that. Are you able to get your students off out school into your new program?
So I'm pretty sure it's illegal.
Okay.
I
Ah,
have done some digging and like looking to see how. Right now, I have been in the process of letting my families know that I will not be offering this time, and this time here anymore. I'll be offering them here. They
okay.
don't have to leave. I'm going to still offer my 7 a.m. On out school. So that way
Okay.
I'm not saying leave. I'm
Mhm,
saying
mhm.
here's an option and here's another
Oh,
option.
nice. There you go. Work
So,
around
and
it.
I would never want to disrespect out school because
Right.
again, I really found my teaching style
Mhm.
and just my course and curriculum, everything because of that push. So
Yeah. Yeah,
I want to be
definitely gave you
respectful.
the outlet. Absolutely. I remember my question now. They take a percentage, right?
They do. Oh gosh, I feel like I know this too. Is it 30%? I think it's 30%.
Okay.
But that was also what made me want to leave,
Mhm.
because when you're only having 10 students and you're making a couple $100, 30% isn't a big deal.
Right.
I think I get 1050 and they get 15.
Mm.
So even with 10 students minimum in my class, I'm still making over 100 an hour for that one class.
Yeah.
So I didn't really care. I was like, this is still fine. This is great. But when I was making so much, I did the math at one point, and I'm pretty sure it was like 1,500 a month I was giving them. And I was like, ew,
Yeah, that's a
I
lot.
could spend that on the hub, preschool in a box, advertising, Facebook
Right.
ads, flyers. And oh, all of these write offs are mine, not theirs. They might be doing the ads and they might be doing the flyers, and they've built themselves amazing. They're an amazing company. They
Yeah.
have never, like VIP Kid, I have a couple complaints. Out school, nothing. They
Yeah.
have been phenomenal the entire time. But I was just like, I think I can do this on my own.
Mhm.
Maybe the first year, I'm not going to have 100 students at a time,
Mhm.
but I will build to that. And again, it'll be mine. It'll all be mine. And if I spend $8,000, because you figure how much money I was paying them, if
Yeah.
I spend that money on flyers, at least at the end of the day, I can write it off. And
Right.
that's
Yeah.
kind of how that was my mindset, at least how I got here.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, now we figured out how you got here. Now tell us about here. So what's going on now?
So I am just now in the process of, not bringing my students over,
Nope. Nope. That's illegal. No, no.
not doing that, but letting them know the changes that are going to be made. I am
Okay.
creating my flyers and letting my friends and family know. I'm actually offering a lot of free courses on Facebook, and just letting people know and circulate that this is what's happening. And I'm excited. It's been
Yeah.
really hard. I am not tech savvy.
Hmm.
And the coding and the that went into making the website. I don't even have a word. Like, my husband would come out in the middle of the night to get water and be like, "Why are you awake?" I'm doing my website.
I tried to do a website for about one day, and my husband's like, "We're hiring someone. Sorry, this is just." And I was like,
Oh,
very grateful because it was killing me. Just the one day I was so
That is
upset
so
and
smart.
frustrated that I couldn't do
I
it.
wish I should have done that.
Yeah, it was so hard. I mean, there's a reason there's like a job to make websites because that's
Yeah.
really hard and takes a lot of expertise.
It took weeks. It was
Yeah.
so hard. And I followed it. I followed everything to a T. I can't even imagine if I didn't have
Hmm.
like the outlines, the course by course on how to create it from joy. I could not have done it. I would
Yeah.
have hired someone.
Yeah, totally. Totally. Okay, so you're starting in a couple weeks then?
Yes, August 9th.
Okay. And did you do like a founding family script to get
I
families?
I did.
Okay. How did that work out for you?
Good. I had like 45 shares, and I've have a lot of people who are going through the registration process. So
Nice.
that's exciting. I know it's been nerve wracking, but again, step out of your bubble.
Yeah, you gotta step out of it. Gotta step
Yeah.
out. I mean, obviously you were successful with the outschool thing, so obviously you know you can do it. It's just building your own brand now.
Yes. The
Them, yeah.
branding. And I think a lot of it is helping people kind of have that realization that I had about online teaching. I
Mhm.
think there's just such a big dark cloud
Yeah.
over virtual learning after last year. And it
Mhm.
sucks because, I even saw it with my own kids. It was
Yeah.
so rough. There were days I cried and they cried and we hated it. But what I do is nothing like that. And I always
Right.
try to tell people, you're not going to be in front of a computer for 3 hours and then here's a book and go do this and then take a picture and submit this to me. It's
Yeah.
30 minutes of super fun, interactive. I do all my classes live. I don't do any pre-recorded. And so we have so much fun, and I teach multiple things at once, and I have some really good reviews. So I know that my parents, they feel the same way that I do. And so I think just continuing to work on branding and getting myself back out there, but on my own without.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's so exciting. How old are your kids?
They are, I had to think about it. Ever since the pandemic, I'm like, did that year happen? They're 6.5 and 7.5,
Okay.
almost 7 and 8.
Okay. And so they're going into like first and second grade?
Well, they actually skipped a grade because I was a bit of an overachiever when I taught them preschool.
Oh, that's
So they actually skipped a grade. So they're going into second and third.
okay. And do you have a degree in teaching?
I do. I have my bachelor's degree in liberal studies, and I have done so much. I'm trying to think, volunteer work is the
Mhm.
word, and observing in preschool settings,
Mhm.
and early childhood education is where I started. And that's
Okay.
before I even went to a university where I got a majority of my credits. So,
Awesome.
um,
So
yeah.
are your students that you have signed up, are they more local to your area or are they from all over?
No, actually, they're not local.
Nice.
Yeah, different states. Two, I think, that are actually local to me because they're people I know and
Okay.
friends.
Okay.
But besides that, so far, no. And so that will be interesting. But I mean, I did it this year too. I
Yeah.
had students in France and Canada. And so
Cool.
I've had students all over this year. So
Awesome.
it's nice. It's exciting, especially
Yeah.
when we do our circle time and we get to weather. And I have this like little cute display that pops up. I present it onto my computer, and it's, what's your weather today? Is it 1? And I like circle it with the pointer. And is it sunny? Is it 2? Partly sunny. So they could see the number, they could see the picture. I hold up my fingers, and it's so fun for us to see what everybody's weather is since none
Yeah.
of us are together.
Oh, I
So
love that. That's
I
great.
enjoy that.
Yeah. So let's see. Do you have any plans? What would be your future plans for this preschool? I mean, I know you're just building it right now, but in what would be your 5 to 10 year plan with this business?
I have always wanted to open my own preschool, but
Like a local one?
yeah, I just don't know if my journey will continue to take me there, just because I do love online learning so much.
Mhm.
I've just really grown to love it. And so I don't know if I'll fully get there, but I have been having so much fun creating my interactive slides and curriculum and how to better engage students. And so I'm probably going to open a pay teachers um,
Yeah.
account, maybe even eventually put it on my website, because I would love to help other teachers. And I feel like I've had so much fun kind of getting creative and oh, they'll learn this or they'll learn this at the same time, and they'll have fun by doing it this way.
Mhm.
And so I really enjoyed that the last year, which is crazy because I'm not like tech savvy. I don't know how
Yeah.
I got here.
That's awesome. You
But
make so much passive income with the teachers pay
yeah,
teachers.
and
I
that's
wish I was creative enough
ultimately,
to do that.
I think that's ultimately my goal, is to
Mhm.
be able to teach and have this income, but also to have this whole area of passive income.
Yeah,
And I think that's ultimately where I see myself growing into.
that would be great. That's so great.
It's the dream.
Yeah, totally. Gosh, getting that passive income, that's where it's at. That's where it's at.
Yes, make
I
money while you sleep.
Yes, exactly, exactly. I could not get that when I taught my online class, I was like, I barely use like any of the technology, and I was just like flying by the seat of my pants. And I wish that I had
That
like
was me.
pre-made slides and all of that because it's just I just get so frustrated with tech stuff that
Yeah.
I don't need the tech stuff. And I was like just getting started and whatever. And now with the all stars, they're all, helping each other out and sharing all such great stuff.
Yes.
And now I'm not doing my online class anymore. But if I was, I would be buying like pre-made slides and stuff because gosh, it was just hard to make it for me.
So hard. It is hard.
Yeah, I feel like an 80-year-old lady stuck in a 33-year-old's body with when it comes to tech stuff. I don't know. I'm like,
Oh,
me
my
and grandma
little
are at like the
sister,
same
my
level.
little sister did a Zoom with me just like this because I was like not wanting to, but I knew it's what I needed to make
Mhm.
my classes even just better. And
Yeah.
they're online, they need to be so engaging, so
Mhm.
interactive. So we got on a Zoom and she gave me little like pointers like this. And I was like, why is my little sister teaching me this?
Well,
Why is this
great.
a thing?
That's great. That's great.
But I slowly just learned a couple things, and then from there learned more and learned more, and kind of she just kind of got me over that little hump
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
fear.
Yeah. I know. My husband keeps trying to get me over that hump, and I'm pretty obstinate. I'm like, "Oh, you're the tech guy. You could just fix everything, right?" And he's like, "Yeah,
Tech
you
is
don't know."
scary.
It's so scary. I know. Mostly because I feel like everything just breaks as soon as I touch it. So I don't want to touch it.
Yes, I did that online Zoom. I had it on the All Stars page to help other like of our All Stars and teachers learn a
Mhm.
couple slides. And tell me why I do Zooms all day, every day, forever.
Uh-huh.
And in the middle of this one Zoom, things are freezing, internet's fine, and it stops recording.
Oh,
As you know, it tells you when you stop and start recording. It
yeah.
never said that. I was like,
Oh, so you
this
just
is my
oh,
name's Taylor. I have tech hates me.
oh man, that's okay. The first interview that I did for this podcast, I interviewed a person and didn't ever press record. So the whole interview was
That would be me.
yeah. What was it like to get your first sign up as your own preschool and not out of out school?
Like really happy.
Mhm.
It just made me just everything's worth it and to keep going. And that's what I would tell anybody because the amount of times I wanted to quit or just like, is this worth it? Again, those thoughts, all the doubts. And it was just like reassuring, like, you can do this. You're doing this. And
Mhm.
I feel like even just getting my LLC, my EIN number, it's like I looked at it and I went to my husband and go, I own a preschool.
Mhm.
Like, what? Like, I
Yeah.
own something. I just, here, this paper says I have a business.
Yeah, you
And
started your own business.
those moments and getting the mail and, getting my business little debit card
Yeah,
to
yes. I
me,
know exactly.
all those little
Every
moments.
little step like that is so cool. You're just like, "Oh, wow,
Yes.
yeah, cool. I'm a business owner." Like,
It just
that's
gives
pretty
you
cool.
that
Yeah.
push. You really need those little pushes. And yeah. So all those moments and then the first sign up and seeing it come through my email, it's like, yes.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
So
That's so great. I know exactly how it feels, and it's just such a great feeling.
it is. Everybody should have that feeling.
Yeah, I know. It really is. How did the joy and the all-stars help you along this journey?
A lot, especially like I said, if it wasn't for joy and those 30-day challenges,
Mm,
again, this would probably not be happening until next year. I'd probably stay on out school because it's great. And I would keep teaching because it's my own course. It's me,
yeah,
it's my everything. I probably would have stayed comfortable there at least
right.
another year. I wouldn't, I think, have that drive to stay up late. It was like, oh, I got this 30-day challenge. And then I'd put my kids to bed and they'd be like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm doing homework. I
Oh.
got to get this done. And so having like, for me, I'm a very big black and white checklist satisfaction person.
Yeah.
So to have those 30-day challenges and have everything just do, this is what you have to do when you have to do it. That was everything for me. I needed that. I needed the structure. I needed the help. I needed the ins and outs of what to do, what not to do. All the things. I needed all the things. I needed the Preschool AllStars encouraging me. I needed Joy's lives. I needed all the things. Everything.
All the things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you got all the things. What would you say you're most proud of in running your preschool?
Just I think the fact that I did it, just because when we first when we had our children, it was a little sooner than expected. And I was so upset. Not that I don't obviously love my children. It was that I felt like I was giving up a big part of me. I lost my identity for a hot second, and I wasn't a teacher. I wasn't a friend. I wasn't a sister. I was a mom. And I think the fact that I have slowly crawled out of that and learned boundaries of how to be a great mom, but also how to have something for myself.
Yeah.
The fact that it's led me down this road that I did it, like I opened my own preschool. I'm so proud of that, because the person I was 5 and 10 years ago wouldn't even know who I am today. And I hope the person 5 to 10 years from now can say the same thing about me.
Right. Yeah. We always want to be growing. That speaks so much to me. I waited until I was 33 to have a kid because I was so scared of that. Like I was so scared of losing my identity and, not knowing, or then I started teaching and I was like, I can't be a mom and teach. It's too stressful. Like I can't do that. So finding this was like the answer to everything for me.
Yes.
And I know exactly what you mean. It's like, I've seen so many people lose their identity,
it's lost
being a mom, because it takes everything out of it. It takes everything,
all of your life, your energy, your body, your mind.
Yes. All of that. Oh my gosh. Yes. And so finding this and hearing like so many women say that too, like they found themselves, they found this whole part of them that they never thought was possible,
Yeah. Well, and for me, even right before the pandemic, I was vice president of the PTA, president of my mom's club, and I was teaching VIP kids 6-7 hours a day, taking my kids to school and having meetings every day and working 40-50 hours for nonprofits. And the women were not very kind. And it was really, really rough. I cried. Like I would come home and be like, oh, and I kept telling myself, once that was over, the pandemic hit, everything shut down, my terms were over, and do you want to do this again? No, I don't want to do this again. And I told myself, like, you need to find joy. What your next thing is, you need to find joy. So it was so funny to me that I found joy.
Yeah.
Because I told that to myself over and over again, like, it's great to volunteer in the PTA, and some people's circumstances and moms clubs are great. Right. They're not surrounded with super catty women, but they can be wonderful circumstances. But I was like, you can't give all of you to that. Your next thing needs to be for you and for your family. You need to find joy. And I feel like I slowly somehow, like, I feel like just stumbled across to where I am.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm grateful.
That's so cool. I love that. I love it. Well, I wish you all the best of luck in your journey. You're going to do so great. I'm so excited for you, and I can't wait to follow your journey on the AllStars group. Thank you so much for talking to us, Taylor.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Wish you all the best of luck. Bye-bye.
Bye.
If you'd like to have a success story just like that one, I invite you to join our Preschool AllStars. It's my exclusive membership community where you'll get mentorship from me with weekly Q&A lives, support and guidance, and friendship from hundreds of women on the exact same journey as you, starting, running, and growing their preschools, and my exclusive access to Preschool University, every training and done-for-you file that you'll need for every milestone on your journey to help you start, run, and grow your preschool. We've all been there, and we've got the exact same steps that you need to go through, but we do it all very quickly so that you don't have to waste time or money doing the wrong things at the wrong time. We'd love for you to join our Preschool AllStars membership. Just go to preschoolallstars.com or click the link in the description to immediately jump into Preschool AllStars. Again, go to preschoolallstars.com and we'll see you there.